So we're going to start right off with the hands and our breath. So bring your hands together and start to introduce a lot of pressure, palm to palm, fingers to fingers. And then when you release, we'll set the finger pads down and very lightly, especially lightly if your hands are cold or there's a bit of stiffness, just very, very lightly. We're just spreading the hands and getting the floor to help us keep the hands spread. Connect to breath, deep breath. So the ribs. Find the arms in their expansion. The feet are active. And feel the shoulders gliding down around, away from the neck. And cueing in those low abdominal muscles to help you exhale. Just drawing them in, getting them ready, getting them found. And release. We'll be working alternate nostril breathing. Let's go the left hand today. Left thumb, left nostril. Inhale through the right. About an 8 count. And switch, exhale out the left, about a 16. Might be a little less or more. Basically 1-to-2 ratio. And then inhaling through the left for 8. Exhaling out the right for twice that. Those low belly muscles start to work into the exhale so that we can remain tall. They'll help us stay uncollapsed. So let's just do a couple more rounds like so, 1-to-2 ratio. I selected 8-16 for us. And you can proceed in this manner, just inhaling and exhaling, 1-to-2 ratio. I really like this. You can also start to introduce little bits of hold between the inhale and the exhale. So what's a little bit of hold? Lingering for a moment before exhaling. Lingering longer before exhaling. Or lingering feeling how that subtle breath starts to work into the interior terrain of our body and our experience before exhaling. If you have a bit of an achiever type of approach to things, you might presume holding is better than not holding. And maybe we test that presumption. Just finish the round that you're on, and we'll give time for one more round. And then let's switch the cross of our legs, so we're left over right in half lotus or the cross leg that works for you. We'll just go right into a seated spinal twist. So inhaling, we'll keep the chin over the sternum. And feet active. Exhale, we'll turn to our left. And just a word to the achiever types. We may have done a lot of training over the years to kind of ignore or background slight bits of discomfort. But I do think there's some value to be gained from resensitizing the body. Now, comfort isn't the same as quit. It's a way of opening up our sense perception. So as you're going into the twist, if you have some very predictable aches or areas that you reliably know will kind of just feel a little groggy, instead of just blasting through it and dealing with it because you have a tolerance for it, you might try bringing breath in and letting the breath start to move those predictable achy spots and injuries. And release, inhale, come back centrally. We'll switch the cross of our legs. Good to see y'all. So when we're exhaling, this is the first couple moves of the day, perhaps. It might be sufficient to simply reach for the knee, or to put the hand on the ground. Comfort's a tricky word. The last one or two breaths, just clue in those low belly muscles, get them involved in this exhalation. So start to move those organs and muscles and tissues more dynamically. So in a sense, and as we release out of there and unwind the legs, we are judiciously adding variability to the body. It's a dynamic breath. Is more variability to the motion and the organs and the bones and the tissues than cinching down in the furthest, achiest discomfort spot. So we're going to do unlocking the shoulders lying down. So when you lie back, just like we would for abdominals, allow the head to rest down and the knees bent. And then when we pick our arms up in front of our torso, the elbows will live between the shoulder and the sky. So just like unlocking the shoulders, we'll do both arms same time. Inhale into the upper back. I like this because we can feel the ribs and the body expanding into the ground. Exhale, pull the shoulders away from the jaw, which is toward your hips. Engage the chest muscles. And you could even use your foot pressure to change that muscular engagement. Reach the elbows toward the ceiling. And we're going to do a few more here. Inhale. Underneath those wrapped up and engaged chest and armpit muscles. And exhale, draw the shoulders down. That's a muscle move. Draw the shoulder blades down, also a muscle move. Turn on, tweeze on the chest, serratus. Lift the arms toward the sky, leaving the head on the ground. Now inhale, spread the upper back into the ground. The upper back, the mid back. Exhaling the shoulders down, engaging the chest muscles, lifting, reaching the arms toward the sky, fanning open the hand bones. Let's do one more breath on our own. Get all those breathing muscles moving so the ribs are expanding, the low belly is dragging in for the exhale. There we go. And we'll release, interlace the hands behind the head. Pick the feet up off the ground. Here goes the abdominals. So same concept for the upper back as the lower back. We're kind of spreading the skin and the tissue and the breath into that back side of the body. Inhale, lift head, shoulders up. Do this by unlocking the shoulders toward the sky. Curl tailbone. Exhaling, reach out through the left leg, spreading the foot bones, sinking the belly in and down. Inhale, bend left knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, right leg reaches out. Sink, belly in. Inhale, back to center, but keep reaching those elbows toward the sky. So you're doing a little unlocking the shoulder move every inhalation. Curl tailbone, exhale, reach out through the left leg. So now you're doing an unlocking the hip move. As you're doing an unlocking the shoulder move, draw the belly in and down. Inhale, bend left knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, reach to the right leg. So you're doing an unlocking the hip move through the right leg. And unlocking the shoulder move through the arms, all the shoulders. Draw the belly down. All right, inhale. Here we go, we'll do 3 more per side. Please continue. You might go a little faster, slower than I do. There you go. Stay with the belly. All right, looking good. And the other one we'll do today is gate opener. So have your object that you don't mind pushing a little bit down atop your pelvic bones. I think the roll is ideal, but a foam block will work. And we are working gate openers, so we give the legs enough room to move widely apart while lying. And here we go. The legs are up. Inhale into low belly, low back. Hold that. Just gently suggest head lengthen away from neck. Don't pull it. Just feel that it's not scrunched up. As you squeeze that object, curl tailbone. Exhale the head, the shoulder blades off the ground. keeping the squeeze, and the head is very glidey around the spine bones. Draw the low belly down. Let's start with our left hand. Hold the prop in place. Inhale, separate the legs. End up kind of pressing the prop against the pubic bones. Exhale, curl tailbone, the pubic bones touch the prop, and reach each leg away from the prop. Pull low belly down. Inhale, gather the legs upright, vertical, around the prop, set the head down. And keep gathering the legs till you create a nice, consistent leg hug around that prop. Curl tailbone. Exhale the head, shoulder blades up. And keep that really consistent leg energy going. We need that also. Pull low belly down. And the head is relaxed in the hand here. Right hand to prop. Inhale, separate legs widely. Getting breath all the way down to the legs, the hips. Exhale, curl tailbone, legs out, reach, splay the foot bones, sinking the belly down, away from the prop. You can start to feel the low belly right as it kind of seams into the pubic bone. A lot of connective tissue there. Inhale, bring the legs together, set the head down. Gather, squeeze, squeeze legs, curl tailbone. Exhale, head, shoulders lift up, pull. Low belly down, keeping the legs lifting, moving, reaching up. All right, left hand to object. Inhale, separate legs. Shoulders stay up. Exhale. Tailbone shifts, legs reach. Hand presses a little bit. Now find those belly muscles right beneath the prop. It's near the pubic bone. Let's start to move those. Let's do one more pair. Inhale, bring legs toward center. Around the prop, vertical. Squeeze, squeeze legs into the prop, curl tailbone. Exhale, head, shoulder blades lift. Keep the squeeze, reach up inner legs, pull low belly down. Follow it in, follow it in. And the right hand. Hold prop as we inhale, straddling the legs. So breathing down, bearing that breath down into the genitals and the pelvis. Exhale, reach out through the legs, spread the foot bones, pull low belly down. Inhale, gather the legs up, set the head down. Exhaling, set the feet down. All right, when we turn over, we'll be setting up 2 forms of dolphin. At least 2. So first, we'll set up elbows and knees. And you can clasp hands unless you vastly prefer forearms parallel. However the hands meet, the ground, press through the entire forearm and hand. So just stop pressing at the elbow, press down through the forearms. So it's another iteration of unlocking the shoulders. I draw the shoulders down, the blades down, and I send the forearms toward the earth. And on exhale, up we go. Dolphin. And with that consistent forearm pressure downward, weight shift more and more heels toward the earth. So as I press through the forearms consistently, I actually get a few things that feel like they're happening. One is the shoulders get lighter. And two, my hips hike up a little bit higher. And they shift back as my heels move toward the earth. Okay, we're just do the Achilles wrap. So we'll take right foot toes, wrap around the left Achilles. And situating our way down on that left heel, increasing that melt or even that stretch sensation. And as that back of left leg's getting a bit more stretched, deep in breath. And we'll switch sides, the right foot down, left foot toes, ink around the right heel cord. And release the foot from the heel, set the knees down. From hands and knees, let's inhale and step the right foot forward. We're going to get into a lounge lunge, and then we'll come back around to that other promised version of dolphin. All right, so lounge lunge. I've got the left hand down. My left leg trails behind my butt. And the right arm hugs that right thigh. So using this as a nice sweepy side bend for the left side. Inhale. Into the hip, into the abdomen. Exhaling, reach that left leg straight back. Draping the ribs. Inhaling, unwind. We're just going to do a simple switch. So we'll slide that right knee to the ground. Step the left foot forward. Lounge lunge on the other side. We've got the right leg trailing back in lunge. The right hand down. By hugging the leg, and I do mean squeezing, like chest to leg direction squeeze. I'm going to change the angle of where that stretches, where the sensation is being highlighted. We'll feel for bringing breath to that low waist, that hip bone area. So this is all of that place in the, we're working to articulate in those abdominals, the low belly, near the hip bone. And inhale, unwind. Great. We'll slide that left knee back. We just do a brief, like 4 or so breaths on each side of that flash prep. So let's start right forearm down and left palm down. So we'll get one more little bit of that unlocking the shoulder move. Again, I have my right forearm down like dolphin and my left palm ready to flash it up. And on exhale, press the knees off the ground. As we allow the head to rest and hang, the elbow reaches back. It's pretty strong. So those armpit muscles and those chest muscles, as they engage, they actually kind of hug the arm bone to the rib cage. It's kind of a cinching, wrapping up of the arm close to the front of the rib cage, as the backside of the shoulder and the shoulder blade spread. So say if your elbow's winging out and your elbow and arm feel kind of loose and dangly, we're not quite getting the chest and the armpit muscles involved. And we'll set the knees down. Just as an aside, when we really let that head hang out and we're unlocking the shoulder, it's going to be a tremendous neck release move. All right, so we've got the other side set up. Left forearm, right palm to ground. Exhale the knees off the ground. And gently set the knees down. Inhale, slide the hands each under their shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. And we'll step into warrior one. Inhale, we start right foot. Let's go right foot forward, warrior one. And exhaling. Engaging through that back leg, spreading the hand bones. We can set the eyes on the horizon, which can help us lengthen through both the front and the back of the neck. So you can feel for that lightness, the back of the skull and the front of the throat, right around that hyoid or that wishbone. We're going to work bird wing. So draw the hands down, the arms down to parallel with the ground, parallel with each other. Inhale, ribs into arms. And then exhale, gather up the arms toward the ribs. At the same time, drawing the arm bones, sliding them down, elbows to hips. Getting a little more squeeze, a little more contraction worked up through the back of the armpit. And then releasing, inhale. As you start to wind up those arms and shoulders, you may feel a little striplet of stretch through the abdomen. Let's do a couple more. And keep those legs resolutely reaching for the ground as you exhale. It starts with a squeeze, generally arm bone toward ribs, and gets more specific, back crease of the armpit. Gets more specific, gathering. There might be some rotational component. You may feel the arm bones swiveling in the socket. All right, another inhale, let up on the squeeze. And exhale. Start generally, arm toward rib squeeze, specifically back of armpit squeeze. Press back through that back leg, squeeze, slide the elbows down, and release. Let the arms go for a moment. Inhale. And exhaling, just let those arms hang for just that one breath. Twisting warrior. Inhale, we'll draw the left arm up, at least the left arm. And exhaling, hooking that left arm over the right thigh. Using, let's find out if we can kind of ride the tails of that last move. Can you feel that back crease of the armpit, those back shoulder muscles? You've just been squeezing them up. I'm not suggesting we squeeze the armpit, but can you feel how the back of that armpit engages so that you can press and have some leverage, left arm against right thigh? So we're not collapsed in that left shoulder. It's kind of some of the beauty of just doing those simple little contractile waking up moves around the shoulder. Now, while the arm is stationary, as I engage those back armpit muscles, note how the chest starts to turn to the right. That same rotation, yeah? And inhaling, unwind. We'll set the hands each on the ground inside the right foot. First move is simply releasing the head weight down. Thereafter, send the elbows toward the ground. Nomads. Inhaling, we'll set the left knee down. I'm choosing padding. Walking the right foot forward. And then exhaling, folding over this right straightened leg. So most of the weight shifted back, so it doesn't need to be a very strenuous back of leg stretch. But maybe by relaxing the back of the neck, this can be a quite deep back of body breath. Drawing those belly muscles in while we're folded. There's a lot that can get going around the hip and the belly and the back just by breathing dynamically. Expanding the ribs toward the sides of the room as you inhale. And then exhaling, working those low belly muscles in, drawing them in. All right, bend that right knee. Walk that right foot back a smidge. We're going to just start the beginnings. We'll call it half scissors. Right, tuck the right arm under the right thigh. And that amount of tuck and fold might be a fine place for you to want to breathe. So just tucking right arm under right thigh, relaxing the head a little bit. Deep breath, that would be one option. Option two is use these hands now, pull on the ground, and move your chest away from your solar plexus. So we're getting out of any balled up shape. We're opening up that solar plexus. And three would be walking this right foot further forward, I'm leaving the left knee down for now. Pressing through that ball of right foot. Doesn't even have to be straightening the leg as we're lifting the chest forward, reaching the leg forward. There'll be some nice echoes of yesterday's tortoise. Just echoes. Echoes of a practice once done. We'll set that right foot down. Inhale, we'll sneak that right foot back. Exhaling, chaturanga, stepping back. As you lower, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Warrior one. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhaling, reach back to that right leg, the back leg, right leg. Letting breath start to open up the front side of the body. You're reaching back to that right leg. Letting breath spread from the hip bones through the navel area, the solar plexus, and the chest area, the armpit, the collar. Try to give the front of the body a little breeze, a little rest moment. Just letting it spread open. All right, we'll lower the arms down for a little bird wing moment. These rotators. Inhale, ribs into arm bones. And then exhale, slide the shoulder and the arm downward as you apply squeeze. A squeeze at first, very general, arms to ribs. And as we get more specific, back crease of armpits. As we get really steady in that stance, you may feel those little slings of hip to shoulder through abdomen, all those little slings of stretch getting activated. Let's do a couple more breaths here. So the inhales where I'm letting the contractions go, and then exhale, going in, applying the squeeze. So this may go differently if you've had injury or tears in one side of your shoulder, collarbone fractures. So again, educating the muscles around old injury sites, really, really cool. And we'll let the arms go and rest down. Just hang them down for one full breath. Twisting warrior. Inhale, raise at least the right arm. Exhaling, the right arm over the left thigh. Inhaling, unwind. We'll set the hands down under the shoulders. So just the very beginnings of what appears to be a head to ankle. I'm suggesting just plant the hands down, relax the head, and send the arm bones downward. Now the detail here I would like mostly to impart is as you're reaching the elbows toward the earth, can you at the same time free up the solar plexus? As we're engaging this wrap of shoulder, one of the things I'll see often is kind of a buttoning down over the front of the diaphragm. Can you lengthen through the front of the diaphragm and wrap the shoulders, reaching the elbows down? So both and. Can you feel your breath in the front of the solar plexus? Both and. Good. When we release, we'll inhale the right knee down, nomads. Keeping most of our weight over our right knee. We'll straighten the left leg. Exhaling, fold. Here too, with so many, almost all of the folds that, right, it's so by default. It's like we want it. There's almost a strong, we're impelled to button down over the front of the diaphragm. Inhale, grow that front of diaphragm. Lengthy. It's a little different than the head. We can open up the solar plexus and relax the head and neck down. How will you know? You'll check with your breath. You'll feel that omnidirectional breath. You'll feel it through the sides of your low ribs, the front of your solar plexus, the back of your solar plexus. And as we release, we'll wriggle that left foot in. And now here goes half scissors. So we're just working with the hands, the shoulders, and the left leg. I tuck that left arm under the left thigh, and for some of us that will be more than enough pose today, just getting that little tuck, breathing well into the back and the pelvis. 2 is pulling the shoulders away from the head, lengthening through that front of solar plexus. Maybe I'll walk that left foot forward. Here we go. Maybe I start to press that left foot forward so verily it gets a little air. So my solar plexus is open, breathing. My chest is moving forward. My left leg is moving forward. There he is. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm glad you're taking such care with the shoulders on this. This is really good. Good, and we'll release. Inhaling, we'll step it back into downward dog. All right, so let's assume a rest moment. I just want to show you 2 options, so things you might like. I'm going to show you one fold on the ground and one fold with the wall. Choose the one that you think is very tasty to you. So one way of folding, this is just more echoes from yesterday, is where we straddle our legs and start to walk the abdomen toward the ground. Some people like to grab onto the feet. That's optional. Okay, so ground straddle fold would be one option. Another option is to place the upper back against the wall. What I get from this one is my head gets a little traction. Okay. Now, getting into this one, I may have to keep a little crouch. I may or may not straighten my legs. My hands are supporting me, wrapping the shoulders. And we can always walk the feet closer, closer, as I'm bringing my spine, my butt higher, higher. The thing with the wall is, it really doesn't let you lift your head. Ha ha ha. Okay, so one is a bit more of a, well, let you decide. You see them, you'll run them by your intuition and your body, and you'll find like, that's the one I want today. So it's some form of our legs being separated and we're folding our torso toward that space between our legs. So whichever one really, there you go. Great. Great, y'all got one? Those of you leaning, using the wall, it's neck traction, unlocking the shoulder. You get lots of great back breath moves. So let's give it, 6, 7, 8 breaths. Big old washes of breath. Use those low belly muscles to help drain that exhale, that breath out. Right, so I imagine we're getting toward the end of that one. So within the next breath or two, start to ease away from those straddly, edgy places. And then if you need a layer, add a layer. We'll take a rest, Shavasana. We'll begin to relinquish the technique of powerfully breathing as it gives way to this field of breathing. And that this field of breathing has depth. And that depth has something to do with the depth of our awareness, our feeling awareness, our perceptual depth of feeling awareness. And at every moment that we're choosing to feel from this depth and this richness and this breadth of feeling awareness, we're creating those moments where consciousness can live. We're ushering in and we're helping be agents of how much of this exquisite consciousness may show up on this earth through this form, in these ways, in these behaviors. What an amazing creative moment. Every breath moment is a creative moment. When you're ready, turn to a side. Use your hands and press to seated. All right, fun with consciousness. Namaste.